We talked about in groundwork, or in standing randori as well, the idea of having a technical layer that's pure, right? I develop as by striking techniques purely in a striking context, or my throwing randori in kind of a pure form. And sometimes with choking techniques and all that's also true. If you look at old, let's say jiu-jitsu manuals, you'll always notice that the Kuzushi of the techniques are always based on what? Strikes. He grabs me, double collar. It's not pull, push. What is it? Hit him. That's how his balance gets broken, and I throw him. Yeah? Make sense? But yet when you do formal throws, it's kind of pure. You have to balance them with grappling-based methods, pushes and pulls and twists, and drops of body weight, and pulling on the head, or whatever the case may be. Yeah? Does that make sense? So if you look at old judo manuals, even modern day, it's all based on pushing, pulling, there's no striking techniques. So which one is the best way? Striking. You say striking? Depends. You say it depends?
I would agree.
Yeah. For learning Kuzushi, a lot of times the pushing, pulling is really good, kind of in its pure form, but we can get stuck there, right? I think it depends, and I think there's a lot of avenues where you can use both, for example. So I pull into the strike. Make sense? So we're here, I'm in trouble, man, this guy's getting in my face. And I'm using this to what? Jerk him, right? Okay, I pull him into the strike. He pulls away. And you're hitting him on the go as well. And sure. So let's practice just that short sequence, taking the Juji-Jime and the Makiwara. Pull. You're pulling him, because when I pull him, what's he like to do with his feet? Step, base himself, right? Boom! Now he's solid when I hit him. He's not on the move, he's not rolling with the punches. Hey man, hit him. This hand, here, doesn't matter. Grab, pull, grab, strike. And go. This. We're here. Either one, could be either one first. Shuto, patetsuki, shuto. I don't really care too much. What I do care is that you jerk his head, pull, so that he bases himself. He gets hit hard. Grab, watch, pull again off balance, and then grab. What are we going to do now? Hit him. Take all the air out of his lungs. This. I hope he drops there, guys. I really hope. But if not, he's going to be in a world. Oh,
Question on your, and I know it depends on the situation, but is there would you say more often in a little bit more chaotic situation like that, you find yourself grabbing over the top rather than trying to come under?
If I hit the shuto second, and I don't really care which of the two you do first. If I hit with the shuto second, so boom, pull him. I'm gonna take care of it. I pull him. I'm probably gonna
already
go right
on
there.
top. I see.
Right?
Yes.
Well, maybe I go the other way. Hey, man. Now I'm in.
Got it.
And this is important that you understand with these cross collar chokes, right? Because other techniques, if you've got a guy's back, you just start going to work, right? But one of the critiques sometimes of these collar chokes is like, hey man, aren't you just like totally exposing yourself? And by the way, who the hell's gonna let you go, stay there please, and just let you choke? Nobody's gonna do that. in a real fight. This, but it doesn't really come together that way in a real fight, right? You do stuff and you get yourself there. Does that make sense? So, good. Pull, drop. I want you to pull on his weak line. Strike, careful. Make contact, but be careful so you know you're not hitting like a flat surface. This is what hits. Grab, pull him in, knee strike. Keep him busy as you choke him out. This. Adjust. Go. Shoot. Yeah. I kind of make sure that this, one that is stupid now is to project your wristwatch into him. You're in good shape. If I'm doing this, I can move him. Looking up good. Yes. So now you can too hard. Sure. Yep. He yanks me. Let's say he kind of yanks the steps. Did you hear that? That bracing, right? This guy's in we're about to get into a fight here. Boom! I want him to brace himself. So the pull is to break his balance. Instead of him hitting me now, right? Hit me. He's got to catch himself. Anything that's flying at that moment becomes what? But what happens to the effectiveness of the strike? How hard can you hit someone running? Right? It's going to be very weak. Yeah? You want to lift weights running? Like, solidify so you can exert energy, transfer energy, into the bar, into the punch, into the golf club, whatever you're hitting. So this, and then tie that pulling at kind of the traditional push-pull that I was talking about, right? Pushing and pulling, push-pull, right? Combining that with the kind of old school use strikes to off balance. And you're merging those ideas together. This? Okay, go. So.
That turning is what? When you turn your palms, I really feel it.
The most important hand in the choke is the first one that goes in. Okay, the second, if you anchor that first hand well, from the choking perspective, from the pulling around, you got that guy, or you should have. Even from here, you can strike him with that leg. Pull him, hit him. You follow what I'm saying? Shoulder. When you anchor a hand as a Jukido, a cross grip, right? You go for no Soko guard. This could be the space. When you anchor something, you should be able to move this person really, really well. Okay? Pull one way, move another. You should be able to essentially feel like you're ragdolling someone, but you're doing it technically. You're not just big and strong and ragdolling. I want you to capture that feeling with this. I just see some of you, it's not really about speed, but some of you are kind of going like this. And I want that feeling of dangle. So you can feel when these techniques could come into play. The time that you need to get this hand in, and then this hand in, and squeeze, but the whole time you're keeping them occupied. How? Through off balancing him, through striking him. You're keeping them busy the whole time. You're not just standing in front of this guy at the bar going this way. That's not an effective fighting technique. Or it's not effective that way. Does that make sense? If you're just grappling with your buddies, maybe. But this guy's gonna be eye gouging me, hitting me in the groin. He's not just gonna, I've occupied my hands. So I need to make sure that I'm pulling him off balance. He's getting hit the whole time as I apply or acquire that technique. I want that feeling. He's in the tornado. He's getting hit, pulled, he doesn't know what's going on. But you do. Hajime. Change partner. Change partner.
We get flattered.
Yeah. You felt that, didn't you?
I got it.
It's the camera's fault.
Get out of here.